We are now live. The time is 5:43 p.m. Wait, am I standing to salute the flag first?
Yes.
Should we stand? Yes. All right. Can we stand to salute the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this is the December 15th, 2020 meeting of the Township of Springfield Board of Adjustment. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with the Sunshine Law. Notice was published on October 15, 2020 in the Star Ledger, the official newspaper for the Township of Springfield for the year 2020, and posted in the Annex building on October 16th, 2020. Notice of the meeting has also been posted to the Township of Springfield's website. Can we have a call to order, please?
Mr. Mark Cunningham, Mr. Stephen Hochstein, Mr. Daniel Poltrock,
Here.
Mr. Harris Lawfer,
Here.
Mr. Stephen Furstenbaum, Ms. Kara Greco, Mr. Raj Sahada,
Here.
Vice Chair David Schnur, and Chair Cohen.
Here.
We have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Okay, the first thing that we are looking at on the agenda is approval of the minutes let's walk through each, for October 2020. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? Are there any questions with respect to the minutes? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Lawfer,
Yes.
Mr. Poltrock,
Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Great.
Approval of the minutes from November 2020. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? Are there any questions? If none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Great. Mr. Poltrock,
Yes.
Mr. Lawfer,
Yes.
Mr. Sahada,
Sorry, unmuting. Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Let's move on to approval of the resolutions. As soon as we get through the approval of the resolutions, I will walk through with the public with respect to the applications, procedurally, how we will walk through the applications, and when you will have an opportunity to be heard. I do see that we have someone in the Q&A. So approval of the resolutions. The first resolution that's being presented for approval is application number 2020-24. This is for block 705, lot 31. Side yard setback variance for a deck. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the resolution? Are there any comments, questions? If there are none, is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Great. Mr. Lawfer,
Yes.
Mr. Poltrock,
Yes.
Mr. Sahada,
Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The second resolution of memorialization is application number 2020-27 for block 809, lot 27, a front yard setback variance fence. Has everyone had an opportunity to read the resolution? Are there comments, questions? If none, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion to approve.
Second. Dan, teamwork makes the dream work.
We're just going back and forth, man. It's great.
Okay. Mr. Poltrock,
Yes.
Mr. Lawfer,
Yes.
Mr. Sahada,
Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next resolution of memorialization is application number 2020-28 for block 3201, lot 8, rear yard setback and variance for a deck. Have you had an opportunity to review the resolution? Are there comments? Any questions? If there are none, I will entertain a motion to approve. I do see that board member Hochstein has now joined us.
Great.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I don't want to interrupt the flow, but second.
Great. Mr. Lawfer,
Yes.
Mr. Sahada,
Yes.
Mr. Hochstein,
I don't know what this, I just joined, so I don't know what you're voting on.
Oh,
Sorry.
all right, we'll hold off for the next one. Mr. Poltrock
Yep.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
late. I got caught in a phone call.
Okay.
Not a problem. Welcome. We're happy that you're here now. We are on resolutions of memorialization for the previous applications, and we're on number 4, which is application number 2020-29 for block 2501, lot 32, front yard setback variance, lot coverage variance for a front porch. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the resolution? Are there comments? Are there questions? If there are none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Poltrock,
Yes.
Mr. Lawfer,
He's coming back.
Yes.
Mr. Hochstein,
Yes.
Mr. Sahada,
Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The final resolution of memorialization is a revised resolution for application 2020-3. This was the Autoland resolution that was previously adopted. There were modifications to the resolution. This is for block 3703, lot 1, preliminary and final site plan approval, use variance for service center. I have reviewed the changes that were proposed and the revisions. I approve of them. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the revisions? Are there comments? Does anyone have any questions? If there are none, is there a motion to approve the revised resolution?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Hochstein,
Yes.
Mr. Sahada,
Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. We are going to move on to the applications for this evening. I will quickly walk through this. We will call up the witnesses. Each witness will have an opportunity to present. The board will have an opportunity to ask questions, and the public will then be asked if they have any questions for that particular witness. There will be an opportunity to be heard on the overall application at the end. But we're going to walk through the witnesses first. If you have any questions or you want to comment for that witness, just list your name in the Q&A and we will call upon you. If you are on the phone, you will hit *6 and *6 to raise your hand and *9 to unmute. At the end of the application, once everything has been presented, we will open up the application to public comment where you will have an opportunity to speak with respect to the application. Again, we would just ask that you put your name in the Q&A or unmute yourself on the telephone so that you can be heard. And with that, I am going to start with application 2020-30. This is for 77 Laurel Drive, block 1907, lot 2. This is a request for lot coverage and pool coverage variances for a pool. Do we have the applicants here? I think, Joe, we have to allow them in.
Person should be let in.
Sorry, can you give that name one more time?
Sure. Paul Anderson.
If you are an attendee and you are part of this application, if you can raise your hand, that might be helpful for us to identify who needs to be let into the room.
Yeah, hey, Jen, for some reason it won't let me promote him. I'm going to make you a co-host.
Okay.
Again, congratulations on the promotion.
Thank you. Well deserved. Okay.
All right, Jen, can you add him?
He's on. I'm looking for the actual applicant.
I see it as admin raising their hand. Oh,
Yeah, that must be
Yeah.
the applicant, I would think.
And Apu is back.
All right, I just promoted Mr. Anderson to a panelist.
Where's my camera?
Mr. Anderson, if you could turn your camera on.
Yeah, I'm looking for where, oh, there it is. Got it.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody.
good evening.
And we're trying to get your the applicant into the room as well.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson, hi. I don't see Mr. or Mrs. Russell.
Russ Cup.
I think they must be under admin because there's a hand up, so
Oh, okay. Let me
give
see.
that a try.
Can you see us?
Are we audible,
You're audible,
but not visible?
not visible
Correct.
yet.
Yeah, we saw it. We were on camera before.
Video? There.
Okay,
There you are.
we're on. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, welcome. So this is an application for you're looking to install a pool in your backyard. Mr. Anderson, would you like him to present first
Sure.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
and walk us through everything?
All right,
Bruce,
so
if you want to swear him in.
Yes, Mr. Anderson, raise your hand, please. You swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, and give us your business address.
Paul W. Anderson, Anderson. Business address is 40 Miller Drive, Booton Township, New Jersey.
Thank you.
All right, so
And-
as
Mr. Anderson, I'm sorry, you are testifying as an expert in engineering?
I am a licensed engineer and a licensed planner by examination. So I have a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from Clarkson University in 1983. I was licensed as a professional engineer in New Jersey in 1988. And I took the planning exam approximately 12 years ago and became a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey. I've been practicing land use engineering and planning my entire career. I am the principal with Anderson Consulting Services who prepared the plans before you this evening, and I testify in front of boards such as your own on a regular basis.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. And your licenses are current?
They are current, yes.
Okay. Does any of the members of the board have any objections to accepting Mr. Anderson as an expert in engineering and planning? Seeing none, you are qualified as a professional in engineering and planning. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. All right, so Ellen and Gary they live at 77 Laurel Drive. It's block 1907, lot 2. It's a quarter-acre parcel in the S75 zone. Pools are permitted accessory use in the residential zones. They are permitted by ordinance to have 27% impervious coverage. They currently have 27.3%. So adding the pool will be increase that deviation. They have done numerous things to reduce the amount of impervious coverage, such as providing open decking as opposed to patios, hardscape patios, to reduce it. And they're proposing a 33.45% impervious coverage on the lot. Now, one of the concerns with increased impervious coverage is stormwater runoff. And to mitigate that, we have proposed a dry well associated with this to take the roof water and recharge it back into the ground for the 100-year storm. So they have addressed that. I see this as a fairly simple application for the pool coverage and the impervious coverage that are both justified by a C2 criteria. If I look at the negative criteria first, with the addition of the dry well, there is no negative drainage impacts associated with it. And then if you look at the aerial photographs of the immediate neighborhood, there are several other homes that have fairly intensive impervious coverage with pools and paved patios throughout and bigger driveways. So by no means would this be a new precedent in the neighborhood. I think it would actually make it more conforming to what the neighborhood actually is by adding a little bit more and actually violating that criteria. So I do not see that the negative criteria, that the negative impact of this project is that significant. If I go to the positive criteria, I believe this project actually furthers the purposes of zoning, and 3 purposes of zoning, which are also listed in your ordinance as purposes in the land use section. In our COVID times that we're living through, having an outdoor recreation space associated with a private house is essential for people's mental health and physical health in the summer months, to have someplace out there. So I believe that it meets purpose of zoning A, where it goes to the general welfare, certainly of this family and their extended family, but also by extension to their neighborhood and community. Purpose of zoning G is allowing for sufficient space for private recreational needs. So I think it actually meets purpose of zoning G. And with the investment in the rear yard to have the new decking and new pool, it certainly meets purpose of zoning I, which is in making a desirable visual environment. And so I think based on that, using the C2 criteria, I think those 3 positive impacts and meeting those 3 purposes of zoning far outweigh the minor detriment that is the overage on both the pool coverage and the impervious coverage. And I think you can grant these variances without any substantial detriment to the zone plan or the ordinance.
Thank you. Do any board members have any questions for Mr. Anderson? Do any of our professionals have any questions for Mr. Anderson?
Chase Hass here. Yes, I have a question about the seepage pit. The soil will be tested and the water elevation will be looked at as far as the elevation of the dry well?
We will do that, yes. When, as a condition, when we're going to construction, we will look at that. If it needs to be modified to put it into the front yard and the roof leaders put into the front yard, we'll do that. Right now, we currently show it in the rear yard, the back left corner of the house.
Can you please show how the dry well will have an emergency overflow? If nothing else, the leaders that come down from the house before it goes into the ground should have some kind of overflow outlet.
Right. Well, what we typically do is we have a detail on the roof leader that if it can't go down, if it can't go down, then it overflows out onto a splash pad right at where the roof leader comes down. So that's a fairly standard detail for us.
That's fine. I didn't see the detail in the submission. That's why I was asking.
Yes. Okay. We will add that.
No further questions. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions for this witness? Okay, I'm going to open it up to the public. Are there any members of the public that have any questions for this witness? If so, just put your name in the Q&A or hit *6 on your phone. And this member of the public is for the next application. I see none for this application. Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you.
Would the applicants like to add anything before we deliberate? If so, we'll have to swear you in first. Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You want anything?
No, we just wanted to add to our home and to
Be
have,
sworn in.
oh, do I have to get sworn in?
Please, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
And please each give your name, spell your last name, and your home address.
Ellen Russikoff, Russikoff, 77 Laurel Drive.
Gary Russikoff, Russikoff, 77 Laurel Drive.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Oh.
Proceed.
Oh, okay. We wanted to add a pool to our home to make it accessible to our family and our friends and our grown children. We thought about it many years, and this is something that we really want to do.
Thank you. Do any members of the board have any questions or professionals for the applicant? Do any members of the public have any questions for the applicant? Okay, I see none. Before we deliberate, are there any members of the public that wish to speak in general on the application? I see none. So I am in favor of granting the application. I think that this is suited for the neighborhood, given the testimony that was presented by Mr. Anderson. I don't believe that there would be a detriment. I appreciate the mitigation efforts that will be with the dry well. And I am opening up to any other board members if you have any comments or any other opinions.
I'll just add that I also feel the same as you with the stipulations as asked by the engineer and agreed to by the site engineer.
Agreed. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Poltrock,
Yes.
Mr. Hochstein,
Yes.
Mr. Lawfer,
I'm going to abstain because I had tech issues.
okay. Mr. Sahada
Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Motion.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
really
Have a great
appreciate it.
evening.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Good
Thanks,
evening.
Jen. Thanks, Jody.
All right, I am going to call the next application.
Leave.
Application 2020-31. This is block 2903, lot 9, lot coverage and pool location variances for installation of a pool. Do we have I don't see the applicants. Well, can we bring the applicants in?
Glenn, you're muted.
Hi,
Hi.
how do we get the camera on? Our video?
There you
This is Ngazi Tracy Jaja. She's the property owner. I'm just a friend who's helping her out.
Hello.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Who will be testifying this evening?
Glenn.
Okay. Can we swear you in, Glenn?
Why don't you both raise your right hand? I'll swear you both in just in case. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If you could both please state your name, spell your last name, and give your home address.
My name is Ngazi Tracy Jaja. Ngodijaja. Jaja. 29 Maple Street, Springfield Township, Georgia.
William Glenn Steele, Steele, 3 Gabriella Lane, in Warren, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you are looking to do and the request that you are making this evening of the board?
Okay, Ngazi put a pool and a patio in the back of the house, unaware of the fact that she should have checked into what the zoning rules were first. And she's exceeded the lot coverage, and apparently the pool is not supposed to be within 15 feet of the edge of the property. And it is within 15 feet of the rear and the side of the property in its present location. So we were told that we could apply for a variance to potentially make it all legal. It's in the S60 zone. The lot coverage that's permitted is 40%, and she's currently at 56.9%. We offered to one of the fellows who had come by to do an inspection of the pool. I had spoken to him, and he said something about planting a rain garden. So if that's something that the township would like Ngazi to do, she's prepared to plant whatever plantings. We've had substantial rainfall in the last couple of months while the pool and the patio have been there, and there really hasn't been a problem with any overflow. And so basically that's where we are right now.
Thank you. Can we just pull up the survey? Are we able to do that? I know we're having some technical, thank you. I appreciate that. So she installed the pavers and the pool.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to open this up to the members of the board and our professionals for any questions for the applicant and witness.
A question regarding the bluestone wall. How tall is that?
The bluestone wall, along the back of the property, it's about 1 foot. And along the side of the property, it's about 2.5 feet because it has to hold back the land. The lot next door is about 2 feet higher than this lot at application.
Where is the pool filter located, and how do you say drain it every year?
It hasn't been drained, so it's full of water currently. And the filter was in the back left corner. But she also found out that she has to have a dedicated electric line run for that. And that'll be done with burial wire and done properly. But we had to wait and see if she's going to be allowed to leave the pool where it is first.
The questions?
Thank you.
I have some questions, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Ma'am, it looks like you bought the property in November of 2018. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right. And after you bought it, when did you install the pool and the pavers?
This summer.
This past summer. Okay. All right. And I'm just looking at the date of this survey. There's like it seems like there's a date missing, a number missing after in the year. So I'm just guessing based on what you just said, that should be a 2020 is when you got this survey, August 2020?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Are there any other members of the board that have questions for this witness or the applicant?
There's no items such as a dry well in this particular property. So the drainage, if it increased at all, would still be a question.
Can I ask a question too? Was that garden patio there or was that added as well?
The garden patio was actually directly behind the house, and those were moved over to create that garden area.
So the paver walk and the paver patio were all added subsequent as part of the pool work?
Yes, the paver patio and the paver walk are new. The garden patio pavers were behind the house and they were moved to the side of the house.
So the only question I would have, and it'd be with consulting with the engineer, is a rain garden enough to mitigate the amount of coverage on there? Or do they need some type of dry well system?
They would have to show the calculations for something like that. I wouldn't think a rain garden, but it may suffice after being looked at.
Do you think that we should ask for a submittal to look at before we vote on this?
I'm thinking yes. This is a lot of coverage. And if it can't be mitigated, I think we need to understand how they're going to be able to mitigate it.
I think similar to the previous application where they had a report on, what was there and what's running off now.
I concur. I think that there is a lot of overage and that we should understand it better as well.
Sorry.
I would move to table this.
Second. This is Raj, by the way. Second.
Thank you. Madam Chair or Mr. Bergen, do we need to open this up to the public at all now, or?
No,
that was going to be my question. We do have a member of the public that wishes to speak, but we'll have to advise them that it's carried. Sorry, Bruce. So, yes.
No, that's correct, because the board is still contemplating and asking questions, so we wouldn't have reached that point yet.
Okay.
But I would note if we adjourn it without date, then the applicant needs to renotice. If we adjourn it to a date specific, then they would not.
All right, let me bring it.
Miss Law, in that case, I'd like to amend my motion to adjourn it to our next meeting, which would be January.
I also join that and amend my second.
Madam Chair and Mr. Bergen, the first meeting of January is solely reorganization. So I know we really haven't had this conversation yet. If you want to change that and allow for applications, it's your call. If not, the next meeting after January 19th would be February 16th.
I would be in favor of holding a reorg and then a regular right thereafter, so that we can meet in January if we have applications.
Okay.
I would be in favor. I don't know if there's any members of the board that have any objection. So there are none. Okay, so the meeting that we are talking about is January. Tell us one more time, Jen, please.
Sure, it's January 19th.
Okay, January 19th. So we have a motion pending to carry to January 19th for members of the public. That means that the application will be heard on the January 19th, and at that time, you will be able to speak. Should we have a roll call on the motion?
Oh, sorry. Yep.
That's okay.
Mr. Laufer,
Yes.
Mr. Sahada,
Yes.
Mr. Hochstein,
Yes.
Mr. Poltrock,
Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Motion passes to carry till January.
Excellent. So for the applicant, this means that we are looking to see calculations on the runoff for the January 19th meeting, where you will be able to come back and present.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next application on the agenda is application number 2020-32. 104 Fieldstone Drive, block 1803, lot 30 for a side yard setback variance to install a generator. Do we have the applicants in the room and any witnesses that they might have?
I, Jeffrey Smolovitz, am here. Do you need my
Good
video?
evening. Yes, please.
Okay. Hi.
Do you have any other witnesses?
No.
Okay, then please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, and give your home address.
Jeffrey Smolovitz, Smulovitz, at 104 Fieldstone Drive.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see that there's a hand raised in the participants. If you are a member of the public and you do wish to speak, we are just asking that you put your name in the Q&A, and you will have an opportunity to ask questions and to speak. Okay, so there is a neighbor who wishes to speak as a member of the public, and again, we will call upon you, and it is open to the public. Okay, would you please, for the benefit of the board, just walk us through the application, what you are seeking this evening and your reasons, please?
Yeah, so looking for a side yard variance for generator. Prior to applying for the variance, we got approval for zoning to put it back in our backyard behind the kitchen next to the patio that you would see in the survey, between the
Can
corner
we
of the
pull the
house and
survey up? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Could we just pull the survey up, please?
me.
No.
Oh.
Our tech.
Okay.
Excellent.
So
Thank you.
we had the zoning approval to go between the patio and the back corner of the house. Later realized it's not the best location for it for a number of reasons. One is, this is a new house. We just moved in here and there's pipes going out of the wall right there. So that would have to be relocated, which would be very expensive. And then also, we don't want it to take away from the backyard for our kids. And then I guess lastly is there, it could be because of the pipes, but there's a lot of water there. So that could cause damage to the generator. So we're looking for a variance to put it where that blue mark is. This survey is from when we purchased the home. We now have a fence, so that would actually be not seen from the street. So the fence, our gate would be blocking it from the view of the street. And on the right of it is our neighbor's fence. So, our neighbor wouldn't see it either. So it's, behind our fence between our house and the neighbor's fence. I have,
What's the, can I share, what, I don't see it, maybe I missed it, but what is the requisite setback and what are you requesting?
I think that there needs to be 8 feet between like my house and the property line, or anything that's put in between my house and the property line. So we don't have, I don't know if we have 8 feet now, but it would be 18 inches off the house, and the end of the generator would be 4 feet from the property line. Yeah, that's.
Okay, are we able to get the exact numbers? I didn't see them in the application.
Yeah, they're not
maybe
in
we,
here.
yeah. And then I did see in the application though that you indicated that the generator will be loud.
No, I don't think that it will be loud. Hopefully it'll never go on. But since we moved into this house, we've lost power twice already. So that's why we need the generator. And there's other generators on the block, so I don't anticipate the noise being any different than anyone else.
I guess I'm sorry not to interrupt, but I have another question, which is the survey. It's obviously not as detailed as certain plans that we see, but how close are you planning on putting that to any windows?
No windows. No windows are within 2 feet of it.
Are there any windows within 5 feet of it?
No, I don't. No, the answer is no. It's going to be right along the back. It's going to start at the back corner and move forward. So the generator will not come further down. It won't even go past the back. I mean, I could show you if you want to see the inside of my house, but it won't go 5 feet near any windows. And the numbers that I provided were provided to me from the electrician who ordered the generator and would be doing the installation.
What make is the generator?
Generac for 3,000 square feet, I think.
We would need to know what the kilowatts are on the generator.
I'm pulling it up. 22 kilowatts with a 20 amp transfer pad and battery.
It's the transfer switch.
How often do you expect it to be exercised? Once a day, once a week?
I hope never, only when the power in Springfield goes out.
No, those have they have an exercise period where at least once a week they have to be automatically exercised. I think it's for about 30 minutes. So for 30 minutes to an hour a week, it's going to run for a period of time. And, you know, that's why we keep asking you how close it is to the neighbor, because of the volume. There is a decibel level associated with those.
Understood. I will, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'd be happy to follow any guidelines that, you know, if you were to approve this, whatever time of day you say to do it and time of week, I'll do it. Whatever works for my neighbor. It doesn't matter to me. I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware of that when I was submitting the application. Otherwise, I would have found out. But I will do it at whatever the best and most appropriate time is.
I have a question regarding access to the backyard. If you have 5 feet, I think it is, I see on one side, and there'll be less than 4 feet on the other side, does that create any problems with fighting a fire or access or landscapers or anything that, you know, this is really for our board engineers, or any issue with that?
Sure. If you weren't asking me?
It's you, and also for the board engineers, are any restrictions with requiring access to a yard like that?
I would say, I would suggest that they just check in with the fire marshal.
So we measured with our landscaper, and he said that he has no problem getting through. We got a gate that opens up enough, more, you know, so on both sides. So I don't, you know, that's I think there's plenty of room, and it, you know, the generator is after the opening in the gate, so the gate itself is already wide enough to get through. So to continue on, you're already within that space.
There's a lot of leeway with a single family residential development.
I'm not sure what that means.
That was good news for you, Mr. Smolovich.
Okay, thank you.
And the reason I asked my question was not only for code, but just for something that have you thought about it, being able to get in the backyard with equipment and stuff if you need to?
Yes, that is something that we looked at. We looked at it with the landscaper. Sorry, my kids. We have 3 gates. One in the back right corner of our house, which if needed to enter from pit road, they could, and also on the left and the right.
These things aren't typically that tall. What is the dimension of the unit, do you think?
I can pull it up right now. I know exactly what he ordered. I'll tell you what the total dimensions. I got it right here. It is 28.6 inches from bottom to top and 25.1 inches wide.
So if we approve this, you would install it so the thinner direction would be left to right and the longer direction would be front to back. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yes, the long way. Yes. I'm not that much of an artist, but the direction the blue line is going in the picture. I'm sorry.
Are there any other questions or comments from the board or the professionals?
You could definitely hear it when it's exercising, but typically it's done at that part of the day when it's less annoying to the neighbors.
Yeah, like I said, we'll do it any time of day that you say. And also, I mean, when the power's gone out, I've I don't see in other people's yards, but I hear generators go on my street, so I know other people have it. And of course, it may or may not be as close to the property line, but it could follow the same times as that others do. But
Is this a full house? Is this a full house generator, or is this only partial?
Full house.
Are there any plantings or trees on the other side of the fence?
On my neighbor's side of the fence, they have trees, but I'm not sure exactly where they start. But I do think that Jen mentioned my neighbor's in the Q&A, so. I don't know.
Will there be any vegetation in your yard near the generator?
No.
Aside from grass?
No.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board members or professionals? I'm going to open it up to the public. Right now, I'm just asking whether there is any member of the public who has any questions for the applicant. This is different than having that would like to testify in general with respect to the application. Are there any specific questions that you have for the applicant? If so, please put your name in the Q&A or raise your hand on the phone by pressing *6. There will be an opportunity to speak. This is just for questions. Okay, I see a hand raised. If we could please let him in. Good evening.
Good evening. How you
Nope, we lost him.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
You guys hear me now?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Henry Beltran. I'm the next door neighbor, 98 Phillipston Drive. And when I got the letter, so I was curious about what's going on with this letter. So right now I'm part of this meeting, and I hear my neighbor, I guess his name is Jeff. He's a new for the neighborhood. I'm sorry about that. Sorry, Jeff. My name is Henry Beltran, your neighbor. So I don't mind. Doesn't bother me at all if you got a generator next to me. Just make sure coordinate with me what time you're trying to start your generator. I don't mind with that.
Mr. Beltran, do you have any questions to ask at this time? There'll be a time later in the application to make a statement of your own.
No, at all. I just want to support it, whatever he want to do it right now. So I should be fine with that.
Okay. Mr. Beltran, what I'm going to have to ask you to do is turn your video on so you can be sworn in, because you're making a statement. You have to be sworn in as a witness then.
All right. So let me start my video right now here. Let me turn on my light.
Okay.
And you see me now?
Can you raise your right hand?
Yes, lefty. Apologize.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
State your full name, spell your last name, give your home address.
Yes, my name is Henry Beltran, 98 Phillipston Drive, Springfield.
Okay. You just made a statement about this application. Was that true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So again, doesn't bother me at all. The only thing what I need is make sure that coordinate with me the time that he's gonna put it on the generator, but I'm fine.
Thank you.
Thanks as well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can I just add in onto Mr. Beltran? Maybe we put a restriction that the generator has to be exercised on a weekday between 12 and 6, so that it won't disturb him on the weekends or evenings or early mornings.
again, I'm flexible. Usually we work from 9 to 5. So I would prefer weekdays better than weekends, you know.
That's what I said. It would be exercise on a weekday
Yes.
in the afternoon as opposed to on the weekends.
That should be fine. Yes. That should be fine. And also from his fence to my windows, we have almost like a 10 feet away, 12 feet away. So we should be fine with that. You know, it's not even my main window. It's my living room area. So I should be fine with that.
Thank you.
Thanks as well. Thanks, everyone. Any questions for me?
No questions.
Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
You too. Are there any other members of the public that wish to speak? I see none. Okay. I was concerned with the placement. I will say that but after hearing from the neighbor, I don't believe that it would be a detriment. He's in support of the application. I think that I agree with Mr. Hochstein that we will implement restrictions, which would be from 12 to 6, did we say, or 1 to 6 on weekdays? Everyone's muted.
I think 12 to 6 is a reasonable restriction.
Okay, excellent. With that restriction, so I am in support of approving the application. Any other members of the board want to speak? If not, any member want to motion for approval?
If I just might
Yes.
suggest that we include in the resolution the testimony of the applicant that the generator will not be closer to the sideline, side yard than 4 feet. It's not in the plan, so was his testimony. I think it should be included just to document it.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. Let's include that.
Madam Chair, I would like to move approval of this project with the conditions stated by Mr. Hochstein and Mr. Bergen.
Thank you. Is there a
Second. As long as the condition is Monday through Friday. I heard 12 to 6. I don't remember Monday through Friday, but just to be clear. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Lawfer,
Yes.
Mr. Sahada,
Yes.
Mr. Hochstein,
Yes.
Mr. Poltrock,
Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Congratulations. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our final application for this evening is application 2020-33, 37 Henshaw Avenue, block 1305, lot 40. Request is for a front yard setback variance, for an addition on their home. Is the applicant present and in the room?
Yeah,
Yes.
we are here.
Okay. Good evening.
Hello.
Hi.
Who will be testifying this evening?
I will, and Sarah Lieberman. Probably.
Okay, Ms. Stoudemire, why don't we swear you in first? Raise your hand.
And Matt too. My husband will
Okay.
help.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please both state your name, spell your last name, give your home address.
Matthew Studemeyer, Stoudemeyer, 37 Henshaw Ave.
Michaela Studemeyer, Stoudemeyer, 37 Henshaw Avenue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to start it, or should we swear? in
I
Ms.
think,
Lee?
yeah, why don't we swear in Ms. Lieberman and qualify? And I think she could walk us through the plans.
Just need your microphone on.
Hi,
Great.
everybody.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, give your business address.
Sarah Lieberman, Lieberman, 14 Treetop Drive in Springfield. I'm a registered architect and Sarah Lieberman Architects.
Thank you.
Do you want me to walk through the plans and the rationale, or?
Yes, can you just give us the benefit of your education and your background?
Sure. Bachelor of Science, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, 1996, and Bachelor of Architecture, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, 1997. And I'm registered architect in the state of New Jersey for the past 10 plus years. And I am the principal of architecture firm, which I run and own.
And your license is?
For architecture.
Yes.
And is
No,
current
you're
in the state
it is
of New
current.
Jersey. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do any members of the board have any objection to qualifying this witness as an expert in architecture? Okay, you are so qualified and you have the floor.
Thank you. I would like to go through, I think I would like to start as to why my clients are requesting a variance. They can give you a little bit of background on themselves and why they're choosing to add on to this house as opposed to moving to another location, I think would be beneficial to everybody first.
Excellent. Let's
Okay.
hear from the applicant.
Okay. I hope you don't mind. I wrote it because I was a little nervous. So, we would like to add a bedroom to our second floor. Matt and I have lived on Henshaw Avenue for the last 11 years, and we looked at several homes on this street and fell in love with this home. We have established a real sense of community with our neighbors. We celebrate holidays with them. Our oldest plays soccer with our neighbors. And I even grew up in Maplewood with some of my neighbors. We don't want to move. Our son James is 6 and John is 4, and they currently share a bedroom. This sharing isn't working for them, and they're very different personalities. John has severe allergies. He's anaphylactic to milk. He's anaphylactic to peanuts and to cashews. He also has severe asthma. We check on him constantly throughout the night. Well, I should say I check on him constantly throughout the night. And as I am a worrier, and we would love to separate the boys, but I feel it is essential to keep them on the same floor as us. Matt's job also has changed, as many have given the pandemic, and he works for a Japanese company. So his conference calls and meetings are consistently in the mornings and in the evenings. So he needs a quiet space to be able to work, as working from home is something that he will be doing permanently. We thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much.
So the first thing I wanted to go over with the board is to pull up the site plan, which is located, I think Apu is handling the, can we get into that? The Board of Adjustment 1?
Sure, 1 second. The first PDF.
Yeah, with the site plan.
Apu, can Sarah share her screen? Are you, or is it easier to do that, or or you could just pull it?
Either way works for me. If she's able to guide us, that works perfectly well.
Is it easier for you to do that, or do you want him to pull it up?
It doesn't matter, whatever you guys want.
Okay.
If you want to share my screen, that's fine. Whatever you guys want to do.
There we go.
I don't know how to do that per se.
Okay. Understood.
I wish I could, but I can't say that I do. So now you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, I think that's better. So as you can see from the site plan, the idea is to have the second floor follow the existing left side, which is 7'7". And the front yard, we're applying for 2 variances, one being the left side, 7.7 feet, and the front yard, which is 9.8 feet. The requirement in the S60 zone is 30 feet. However, it is a older community. Most of us, I believe, are familiar on Henshaw, Tooker, et cetera, that entire area, from hopefully having nice Halloween memories with our own children on those streets. If you do go to, there's a little PowerPoint I put together. I don't know if you could show that. Which is the last slide under the Google Drive. Hello? Can anyone see that? Oh, there we go. So this is the existing front elevation on Henshaw. As you guys can see, it's a 1.5 story. They were discussing that their boys are sharing a room. There are currently 2 bedrooms upstairs in the attic space. They are not full-sized height bedrooms as such. And what's this? Can I access this, or, oh, okay. I don't know how this works. Okay.
No, if he's doing it, you'll just have to advise which slide you want to move on to.
Okay, I apologize. So I don't know, you guys can see this is the street. You can see the houses on the right and the left of their current residence have similar 18, 19, 20-foot setbacks from the street, and it goes throughout the street. They also have existing second floors matching the front yard setback lines. And if you go to the next slide, you can even see from their current portico that there's one that's even further. So this is, their front yard and the lines going forward, meaning the front yard setbacks. And there were some that are even further into the front yard setbacks than them. I truly believe that this would not be a detriment to the neighborhood, as it is keeping with the front yards that are continuous on the existing streets. If you want to go over the plans, I don't know if the board has any questions about the plans that we are proposing. If we go to the second PDF, which would be BOA number 2. Hello? Oh, there we go. Okay, so you guys can see, I believe this is the first drawing is the existing second floor plan. They have the son's bedroom is in the front, theirs is to the right, and the second picture is the proposed plan, which would give them 3 full-size bedrooms, a master bathroom, and on the next floor plan, you can see we've also added in the new attic space an office for Matt. I don't know, are there any questions or?
Any members of the board have any questions?
So I have a quick question. So just to be clear, you're just doing a vertical intensification of what you already have. You're not going any further than what you have as far as the massing of the building,
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
They're existing non-conforming.
Changing any drainage patterns at all with the roof line?
Nope, nope, not at all. It's over existing.
Any other questions from the board or professionals for the witness? Are there any members of the public that have any questions for this witness? Okay, I'm seeing none. So the being that both are existing non-conformities, I think that aesthetically, I think that this is good for the neighborhood. I think that based on the testimony, that is suited and it does conform with the surrounding neighborhood. I don't believe that the addition would be a detriment to the public. I would be in favor of approving the application. Do any members of the board have any other opinions? Are they in favor? And shall we take a vote?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve this project. I think it's a good project and it's good for the family.
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
That was Mr. Poltrock.
Thank you.
I've never called myself Mr. Poltrock.
You know, Dan, we're closing out the year. We're closing out the year the same way we opened the meeting. Thank you.
That was what I was going for.
Okay, Mr. Lawfer,
Yes.
Mr. Poltrock,
Yes.
Mr. Hochstein,
Yes.
Mr. Sahada,
Yes.
and Chair Cohen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Congratulations. Thank you
Thank
both.
you.
Thank you all for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay. We made it to December.
Wow.
Everyone, I hope that you have happy holidays.
Everybody stay
Everyone
safe.
Stay safe.
Careful in the
Exactly.
snow.
Yes, exactly. And a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Third.
Ninth.
Thank you. Thanks to Apu and Joe also. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a nice holiday,
Thank you.
everyone.
Happy New Year.
Good night, all.
Happy holidays.